Hello and welcome back or welcome to the channel. I'm Loudguns and today we're going to be taking a look at how you can consistently farm both Ace Interceptor helmets and Pristine medals. These both come up quite a lot in the Wicklow missions to unlock certain high level components and ships. Either you might want one of these to add to your hangar, or you could sell them on to other players on the P2P market to rake in some extra space cash. So if this sounds good to you, grab a cup of tea while I roll the intro, then let's get into it. Ace pilots spawn randomly as part of patrol missions, and as of this patch, they're mostly a 2-for-1 deal. When you find one, you'll want to search the body to remove the helmet, and in about 75% of cases, in their core armour, you'll also find a medal. Medals can be farmed in a number of different locations. Until now I was mostly going to OLP sites or derelict outposts in search of them, but at these sites they can come in a number of different quality levels: damaged, worn and pristine. However, the medals that you can find on the Ace pilots are always pristine, and it's these ones that are required for the majority of the Wicklow recipes. Ace pilots tend to fly Hornets, which are not particularly tanky, so you want to be careful when taking them out. If you can soft death them, then the pilot is likely to avoid bugging, and be relatively easy to find afterwards. Just fire in controlled bursts to avoid overcooking the ship, and be particularly aware of your firepower if you're using something that has a lot of pilot DPS. This is Star Citizen, so of course we're going to have to work around a few bugs. And in this case there's always a risk that as the missions move on, the Ace pilot bodies can despawn. To avoid this, you want to try and stay relatively close to the Ace after you've taken them out, while you pew any remaining bad guys, giving you a solid window to hop out and loot the body before the dispatcher moves on to the next submission. Patrol missions are handed out by two NPC factions, Foxwell Security in the Verified tab, and Headhunters in the Unverified, both coming under the Mercenary category there. They follow the exact same format, with a selection of randomised submissions separated between 3 patrol points. Notably, you don't seem to find Ace Interceptors on the ambush missions, which are the other side of this, so just stick to the patrols if this is what you're looking to farm. As you complete more patrols, you will unlock higher difficulty levels. The Foxwell ones run from yellow to orange to red, with 2 patrols at each level. As you complete more patrols, you'll unlock higher difficulty levels. The Foxwell ones run from yellow to orange to red, with 2 patrols at each level. The Headhunters ones are a little more obscure with each mission being named, but they have the same pattern. While the submissions at their various points are randomised, they're always drawn from a set of 4 different mission types. Protect ship missions task you with taking out a number of NPC ships as they assault a friendly cargo hauler. The status HUD will give you a percentage health of the friendly, you just need to take out the attackers before that gets to 0. Neutralize targets gives you a simple encounter with a couple of hostile NPCs to take out. Scan area will require you to wait while the dispatcher performs a deep scan of the area, and sometimes this will return nothing and you'll be free to move on to the next patrol point, while on others the scan would identify some hostile targets. And Satellite Sweep will give you 3 or 4 communication satellites to check out. Some of these will be friendly, and after scanning them you can just move on to the next, while others will be hostile and will need the pew treatment. There's also a chance that at these points you can spawn a couple of extra hostile NPCs to dogfight with. Remember that our goal is to hunt Ace pilots, as opposed to purely raking in the scrip and AUEC rewards from these missions. So I personally found the sweet spot is the 74k orange level security patrol, or the 74k space patrol missions from the Headhunters list. As you go up the levels, the chances of Ace pilots seem to concurrently rise, so you ideally want to avoid the lower level yellow missions. But once you hit the next level of orange and the red patrols, there is a fair jump in the difficulty level, with a lot more bad guys to contend with, so in amongst all of the action it will be harder to stick close to the Ace pilots when they pop. Since the ace pilots are a random spawn within these patrols, you're going to want to be running through the missions as fast as possible. More missions equals more aces equals more medals. Also, more helmets, scrip and credits, so it's win-win-win. With this in mind, let's just round this out with a few tips on speed running the missions. First up, every submission QT point takes you to within 30 kilometers of your target, but the trigger point where you'll find out what type you're dealing with won't click in until 20 kilometers. Close this distance as fast as possible, staying in nav mode and jetting at max speed through that first 10 kilometers. Of all the mission subtypes, the satellite sweep can be amongst the slowest to complete. The hints will encourage you to ping for the targets, but you don't need to. Simply use nav mode to fly as quickly as possible between the locations. Take a look around when the mission first pops to try and work out an efficient route between the different sites. When you get close, within about 2 kilometers, one of three things will happen. If you get a green return, it's a friendly satellite. Switch into scanning mode with V and hold down left mouse button to perform a scan on the satellite. Once this completes, you'll get a bit of chat from the dispatcher and you can cruise on to the next one. If you get a red return, then it's a hostile satellite. Skip the scanning part, switch into SEM mode and blast it. When it blows up, dispatch will tell you good job and you can move on. And if you get literally nothing, then it's time to let out a ping. The dispatcher will have you wait while they do a deep scan and then you can head on your way. Doing it this way avoids a bunch of scanning and waiting for voice lines, and this will greatly reduce your time per mission. As I mentioned in the beginning, the Orange Security Patrol and the Headhunters Space Patrol 74k missions are the best for this. However, there is often a cooldown time from when you complete one of these missions before it's available to take again, and this can really slow down your grind if you're just sitting around waiting. So I would highly recommend leveling up both Foxwell and Headhunters to this level, allowing you to yo-yo between them, giving you as little downtime as possible. If you need to, you can also weave in the 50k yellow contracts. The Headhunters equivalent there is called Scout and Scan. And with these four, you can rotate and you'll never be sat twiddling your thumbs waiting for a contract to pop. So you can just keep your grind going and make full use of your time. It's worth noting that despite the fact that the Headhunters missions live in the Unverified tab, and the fact that they are technically a criminal organisation, none of these missions will give you a crime stat. You're still actually just killing off outlaws, so it's basically one gang taking out their rivals, so the UEE don't really care. So I hope this helps you find those medals and unlock your Wicklow ships. After spending many hours gathering cargo for Resource Drive, I've been really enjoying just jetting around in my F7A blowing stuff up. If you liked the vid and think I deserve it, then I would always appreciate if you dropped a like, hit subscribe and shared it with your friends. And if you're ever in need of someone to help you out with some of these missions, then please do swing by our Discord and say hello. You'll find a link to that just in the video description down below. But with all that said, I'd just like to say thanks for watching all the way to the end, and I look forward to seeing you next time.